Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
We're back, we're bad, he's black, I'm mad. This is the Zedos Gangs podcast. I'm Sacha, Allari, and this is my partner in crime, Joseph Buchanan. And today's topics, we're here to talk about the Avatar sequels. 4 of them are being made, not 3. We got Ghost in the Shell, the first images of Ghost in the Shell, the live action version, the trailer of Birth of the Nation, and the Deadpool sequel. Also talk a bit about the Doctor Strange trailer and the Spider-Man reboot villains. Over to you, Joe. What?
So the Avatar sequels, James Cameron has announced that he's directing and producing 4 more Avatar films, and the release dates for them are Christmas 2018, Christmas 2020, Christmas 2022, and Christmas 2023. So yeah, it's quite a futuristic timeline there. So in terms of the films, because they've been away for so long, I'm not sure how they will be received by audiences that saw the original, because usually when a film like this comes out, that changes pop culture to a degree. You usually jump on it and create more in that universe, but he's left it a while, and so in my case, I'm not sure if I'm as excited for this as I would have been if it was a couple of years after 2010. But this is what he's doing. This is what he wants to do. He's written. This guy can do no wrong. I mean, he's got 2 films in the highest grossing films of all time. Star Wars made a good try of beating that, but didn't even crack. It didn't even catch up to Titanic. So that's there you go for in terms of how popular his 2 films were. These 2 films were, and Avatar, that's 3 billion. So it's a major uphill climb for anyone else to catch this guy up. So in your respect, Sach, what do you think?
I think it has been left a while, but I think that's mainly because he's developing this trilogy, or there's 4 of them now, properly, or he's taken his time to develop 3 films. Usually, like take what happened with films like The Matrix Reloaded and Revelations, and not even so the pirate sequels, where they brought the films out literally straight after the next one. If any, like, to be honest, I actually didn't mind those films, okay, but I acknowledge, storyline wise, compared to their original films, they weren't as strong. You know what I mean? They weren't as strong, and each individual film didn't have, obviously this goes with the Pirates films, like, they weren't strong entries into the series, as a, kind of thing. With Avatar, he's taking this time. I've got a little bit of a higher expectations in how well written that these films come out, because he's spent so long doing them. It's like where, it all depends. It all depends on, what the story is, where they go. Will it be as popular as the first one? That's difficult to say. I think there are 2 camps of people. Either you liked Avatar or you didn't. I'm in the camp where I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was the most original thing ever, but I'll tell you what, that was groundbreaking shit. That was what he pulled off there. Technologically speaking, it. You know what I mean? He doesn't, he doesn't half-ass stuff. His films aren't half-assed. They always set the bar to the next level, and I'd expect to see some groundbreaking stuff in these films, if anything. look at Jungle Book that's out at the moment. That wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Avatar, and that's a beautiful film. That is absolutely nuts. I was kind of hoping that he'd squeeze in Battle Angel Alita in there, because that's a project that he's been attached to for quite a while. But, you know, obviously we haven't got that yet. We haven't got that yet. I hear he's producing that now, and Robert Rodriguez is directing Battle Angel Alita. But on the subject of Avatar, you know, this has taken, you know, a lot of his time. It's something that, you know, he's very passionate about, because he wouldn't, you know, if you look at everything he's done to date, he doesn't half-ass things. This is James fucking Cameron. There's a reason why he's got two of the biggest grossing movies ever made up on there, give or take whether you like Titanic or Avatar or not. You know what I mean? This guy puts 1,000% into his work and into what he does. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out. In terms of a fourth one, well, you know, I remember before he was always saying, you know, that he sees it as a trilogy and potentially doing a prequel. Is this fourth one a prequel, or is this like a carry-on? What do you think, Joe?
Well, he says that they're standalone films.
Oh, so, does he? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means in regards to what he played, what in terms of how you watch them, but one could be a sequel to the 2010 film, and then there could be a prequel, and then it could finish off with rounding the story up. And so I don't know. I guess we'll find out when he releases something or some footage or whatever.
Did he ever get round to like writing his Avatar book? Because apparently, like, I remember when the first movie came out, he made a big deal about how he was writing the novelization to Avatar himself, and that he was adding to the universe because he saw it as his big.
It's his Star Wars.
Yeah, it's his. Well, no, it's not just his Star Wars. It's his. You know, it's his big science fiction masterpiece in terms of like literature as well, because he was going to write a book, and that book was going to be like his Dune, his you know what I mean, kind of thing, and his John Carter, his Dune kind of thing. So he you know, he was very, you know, because those are clearly two of his big influences, Dune and John Carter. There's a lot of John Carter up in Avatar, but I mean, you know, where's that book? Has anyone read that book? Anyone that's read that book, is there anything from that book that you could see into the films or not? I just wonder whether it got published. If anyone has read the book, please send me a link on below in the comment section and stuff, because that'd be a good read, I think.
I didn't think he even wrote books or wrote.
No, but he did mention he was going to write the movie adaptation himself and add extra stuff about the universe.
How many Oscars does he have?
Titanic.
Is that it?
I think that's his only Best Director.
Okay.
Yeah.
But does he have any more Oscars?
I'm not too sure, you know.
The only reason I asked is because one, he's swimming in money. Two, he's got at least one Oscar, and so he could literally just drop the mic and say, "Yeah, I'm out of here."
Yeah, he could. He's not. But the thing is, the reason why he does it is because, you know, he makes Fox a shit ton of money. He's one of the few directors that Fox don't push over. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, he just whooped out a fourth sequel without even having to ask permission. Yeah, I'm doing it. Done. And this is Fox. Okay, Fox don't even know what they do with their Planet of the Apes franchise and X-Men franchise half the time. Sometimes, you know, I'm talking about old regime, but you know, like,
yeah. Ever since they changed regime, they're back on.
They're back on
Fox
track.
Are back on track.
Unless you count Fan Four Stick. I mean, you know, that's an example of a film where, you know, certain heads still haven't learnt their ways.
And what does that mean? Because I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about.
Oh, Fantastic Four, I'll call it Fan Four Stick.
Okay. So in terms of that misstep, they seem to know what they're doing with their X-Men universe. They know what they're doing with their Alien franchise. They know what they're doing with their Avatar, quite clearly. I think Fox are fine in terms of the company that's not in any direct competition with Disney or Marvel, that's the same company, Disney or DC, or Warner Brothers, should I say? I think they're doing fine. They've got their tentpole franchises, and they do well, regardless if they're released with Captain America or Avengers or Batman or whatever. So yeah, I mean, Aliens. That speaks for itself. So we're getting off track here anyway. But with Avatar, I think, I was really wondering what we would do with Battle Angel Alita. Battle Angel Alita is a manga that was released in the late 80s, early 90s, and there was an animated version of it that came out and was released by Manga Entertainment in this country in 91 or 92. I won't go into what it's about, but seek it out if you want to know more about it online. But yeah, it's he also expressed interest in making Ghost in the Shell, which we'll talk about later on. When Ghost in the Shell came out, he said that this is groundbreaking stuff, and even from then he was interested in just taking things that step further that no one else would.
Yeah.
And so I have no doubt that whatever we're going to see in these Avatar films.
That's really funny because on the DVD and the VHS and everything, the first quote they said, "This is the kind of film James Cameron would make."
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Check your copy of the DVD now, Joe. Seriously, that's the quote they used to sell Ghost in the Shell in the 90s.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In regards to that, I didn't even know that, but yeah, that's there you go. I can't remember what I was saying there, but in regards to his what we'll see visually from these films, I'm pretty sure he'll take, because Dolby have released this new projector, which more or less it eliminates 3D glasses. I think I'm right in saying that, and so by the time these films come out, we'll see eye-popping 3D without putting any glasses on, and so that's going to be amazing. I hope that's the way things go, but if they don't, then fair enough. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. I don't know if I enjoy them, but yeah, that's another question. But have you got anything more to say on this?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Go on.
I guess we're all Ghost of the Shell.
Okay. So as I said, these films come out. The last film of these films, Avatar 5, will come out in 2023, which is quite a futuristic timeline. Just saying it makes me feel weird. 2023, Jesus Christ. On to the next topic, Ghost in the Shell. So Paramount have released an image of Scarlett Johansson as the Major, and the Major is the main protagonist in the animated version of Ghost in the Shell, who is called Major Matukao Kusanagi, which by the name she is Japanese, or is of Oriental descent, and there's a little bit of controversy saying that the film's been whitewashed with everything these days, and because Scarlett Johansson is of she's white, and so it's causing a bit of a stir. But from what I understand, the rest of the cast are it's a multicultural cast, so standing that, I guess it makes up for a little bit of what's going on with this film, but just by looking at the image of the original 1995 animated film and Scarlett Johansson's character, it looks pretty spot on. And so, it depends on who out there knows what what Ghost in the Shell is. But so Sach, what's your thoughts on the image and the whole whitewashing thing?
On the image, I think it looks okay. Are they naming the character the same name, or are they not calling her Jill, or like...
Jill, no, they couldn't call her Jill because that's not her name.
I know that's not her name, but like, I'm just saying, are they going to give her an Oriental name, or are they actually? You know what I mean? Or are
Matoka
they-
Kusanagi, I don't know. As far as I've seen from any of the stuff that I've seen online, she is called the Major.
The Major.
Yeah, and that's what she goes by in the film.
Oh, okay.
And if they stick to that, then that's fine. But
Yeah.
I don't. She clearly has to have a full name, and so I don't know what they'll give her
Okay.
in terms of that. But I don't know why anyone's surprised, to be honest, because Hollywood has been doing this since the beginning of time.
Well, the pervert in me kind of wants, like, you know, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, that opening sequence of the anime. Let's have that shot for shot in live action. On a more serious kind of note, you know, it's difficult to say. I mean, like the whole whitewashing kind of thing. I mean, we had Gods of Egypt recently. You know,
Everyone in Africa is white.
yeah. You know, and this is a hard one because, like, there's a part of me that says don't make this at all. Okay, but this has been a film that has been in development, like Akira, has been in development forever. These films were coming whether, you know, anime fans liked it or not. You know what I mean? That's a fact. I guess with the whole Scarlett Johansson thing, the only reason why she's an A-lister. You know what I mean? That's the only, you know, 10 years ago it would have been Angelina Jolie. You know what I mean? Guaranteed they would have been gunning for her for this role. You know, Scarlett Johansson, I don't have a problem with Scarlett Johansson as an actress. That's fine. It's just the fact that
I don't think they would have gone for Angelina Jolie. I think they would have gone for Charlize Theron.
You reckon?
Yeah, because she did a film
Ian
called
Flux.
Yeah, and she looked very much like the Major then. So I would have said that, and that came out 2004.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is a big deal because this is a major anime manga.
Well, for who knows it, because
Who knows it? That
it's
is
still
true.
niche. If I went outside or if I was to ask Susie if she heard what goes on
she
would know. She wouldn't know.
But like, I don't. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be politically correct there. Here's the thing. These are the
You don't
facts.
have to be.
Well, okay. These are the facts from some bigwig in a studio. Okay, they're going to spend.
Oh, it's
for the
Spielberg.
Time, is it Spielberg?
It was Spielberg that got the rights back in 2003.
Does he still have the rights? Because rights changes hands.
No,
There's
no.
only a certain amount of time.
It's because of him that this film's
Is
happening.
his name on the film?
I guarantee you it will.
Okay, because that's something to look into if Spielberg's name's on there still, because the fact that you said it was 2003 and they hadn't put it into production within a certain time, you know, the rights could have got revert back to whoever, but yeah, that's something to look into. But no, if Spielberg or not, fact is, it's the kind of IP you pump in over 200 million or 150 million into, especially, you know, I'd say maybe 150 million because it's a first film, you know what I mean, that they're doing, because obviously they're in the business of making franchises of more films. You know, with that kind of investment, you know, this sort of IP, and this is exactly what I said about Warcraft, World of Warcraft, you know, they've gone for a big name. You know, you got female lead. I mean, personally, I think
In Warcraft?
no, in this.
Oh, okay.
In this, they've got the female lead route. Personally, I would have. Who's the big guy? What's he called?
Bateau.
No, the you know her partner.
Bateau.
Is it Bateau?
Yeah.
Personally, I would have went for cast that guy as a major guy. Maybe a Mickey Rourke. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you could cast him as anyone because his ethnicity is it's
Yeah.
He could be anywhere. He could be from anywhere.
Yeah, but
And that
that's
goes- that
that's
goes for
who
the
I
rest
would
of
have
the
got as name. You know what I mean? That's who I would have got as the name, and I probably would have cast, you know, a huge Japanese lead, you know, from Japan or Hong Kong.
Yeah, there's a Japanese lead in it. That's the guy who's playing Aramaki, who is the head of Section 9.
Uh-huh.
He's have you ever seen oh gosh, he's always in Mike Takashi's films, but he's a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
Let me just find find out who he is. Yeah, Takashi Kento. So so basically, he's you recognise him, right?
I do recognise him.
Yeah, so he's always in Mike Takashi's films, and he's either a maniac or a rogue cop or a blind swordsman. So, but yeah, he's the head of Section 9, and so again they've made sure they've plucked people from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, part of their group is a guy from Brazil. He's a sniper. His name is what is his name? I can't remember the guy's name. That's bad of me because I'm a big fan of the show. But the sniper in the group, he's a Brazilian, and so it's a and the Section 9 is basically they go around the world, and it's not specifically supposed to be set in Japan, but the section is built in Japan. So anyway, I'm getting too deep into lore here. But
No, that's cool. I mean, like, out of me and Joe, I would say Joe's like the bigger fan. He's watched the TV series Standalone Complex. My little brother's really into his anime. Me, I haven't actually watched this film in a good 19 years.
I watched it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, there you go. I haven't watched it in 19 years, to be honest. I have, I've watched it probably about 5 times, but my memory of character names and stuff are beyond me. So please excuse my ignorance.
Well, that's the thing. It's not, you're not ignorant, because I understand what they're doing in order to bring this to the name is still, people would have heard the name but don't know what it is. Yeah, and it's now that Scarlett Johansson's the name that they've put there. I see the balancing act that they're trying to do. I was going to get Side onto this podcast, but because he had a lot to say about that.
Oh yeah, I could imagine. And nothing good though.
no, it would be all negative.
But this is the thing. I mean, like, she's the lead. They saw the chance. They put her as a female lead. Why? Because obviously they want to do it quite big budget. She commands a lot. When I say commands a lot, you say you're making a movie and you've got a star like Scarlett Johansson in there, that encourages the studios to spend more money on the project. You know what I mean? So what was a $60 million movie with some guy off TV like Rob Stark from Game of Thrones, which we'll get back to in a minute, to someone like Scarlett Johansson, who holds her own as a movie star in films by herself. When it came to what's that Luc Besson film?
Lucy.
When it came to Lucy, she's part of the Avengers. She's you know what I mean? Like, where's the Black Widow film? I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. But the point I'm trying to make is that she's an action star. She's she's bankable, and that's literally why that casting decision's there for. Mm-hmm. Quite literally, who's a big name, and she was the big name. I wouldn't say that it had anything to do with race in that aspect, even though a lot of people are like, whoa. But these are why these decisions are made. If there was, to this day, and I will say this, just imagine there was a Hollywood A-lister that was Oriental, or I'll put it this way, let's say that Lucy Liu was a bigger name, a bigger brand name now. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if Lucy Liu was all over Hollywood, like holding her own in certain films and stuff, with the same kind of filmography that Scarlett Johansson has. You know what I mean? Like,
Lucy Liu's nearly 50, so it's...
Oh yeah, that's true. But do you see where I'm going at here? Mm. If we had like a Oriental actress that, that was holding her own out there in Hollywood, they would have made this film. They would have greenlit this film years ago. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but it's the trend. Like, whenever there's a female lead, like breakout star that does a bit of an action movie kind of role, they start greenlighting everything X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like, how many Wonder Womans have we had? Greenlit before they actually got Gal Gadot. They wanted Angelina Jolie in the 90s, then they wanted Megan Fox. There was always this rumour because Josh Whedon had the script back in the early 2000s and stuff. You know, that's just how I feel about this particular casting. You know, some Hollywood bigwig wants to, you know, retain his budget, yet at the same time, the producers want to, you know, only want to make it, you know, as big as possible, or to, you know, it just gives them more money to play around. Is this the right thing to do? Not for the fans that know about the IP. I get that, guys. I totally get that, and I'm on board with you because you know what? If I was a filmmaker and I wanted to do Ghost of the Shell and I was passionate about this would not be the way that I would personally want to go. But I'm not making that movie.
Well, now that you've said that, you've got to say what you would do.
What I would do?
Yeah, you can't just say that that's not the way you would do it.
How would I do Ghost in the Shell? Okay. To be quite honest, you want an honest answer? I'd go Hong Kong.
Why Hong Kong?
No, I'd go Hong Kong or Japan, and I'd make
no,
a
it's
Japanese.
Japanese.
Okay, I'd make a Japanese film.
Okay.
Sci-fi.
See,
how would I get the budget? That's the thing. Well, that's the hard part, and that's probably why I'm destined to fail, because I'm not going to get the money to be able to bring the action or do the story justice. So it all goes down to this: why adapt it when the movie's already been made?
Yeah, because
as an anime,
it's because as a property, the studio wants to make money out of it.
Oh, of course.
And
so it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword here. You know what I mean?
And they already tried this experiment with 47 Ronin.
That is true.
And that's got all Japanese cast. It's not a horrible film. It's just badly written. Its action scenes are pretty good.
But did they reshoot that for more Keanu? Because the thing was with that film, Keanu only had like a small part, and then when they saw when the Warner Brothers execs saw the film, they were like, "What the fuck?" So that's why that film was like pushed back for so long, because there were reshoots. Did they fire the director? I'm not too sure.
Has worked on it, so I'll ask him what happened.
Because that'd be interesting to find out how they reshot that, because the movie that was filmed originally, and it was going to be an 18. That was the other thing. Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't get away with it.
Yeah, I think when it came out, it was either 15 or 12A.
It was a 12A.
Was it a 12A? Because originally it was a hard R. It was a hard R, or it was at 18.
Yeah, that's hard R is something else in the UK. That would be a 15 here.
Well, either way, it was, you know what I mean? The movie they shot originally was completely different to the movie that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie that came out was pretty terrible. I thought it was. There were elements in it that were cool, but do you know what I mean? Like, but that's, again, like you said, you know, it's the whole why they cast people and why they market stuff out. You know what I mean? Because the movie that, let's say I did get my Japanese cast for Ghost in the Shell, would that do well? Would that make back its 200 million?
But that's the thing. The cast of Ghost in the Shell isn't strictly Japanese. It's the main protagonist that's Japanese.
Oh, okay, right.
So Kusanagi.
So they could have done it, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
It's look. All in all, if the story's good, which I haven't, if they're doing the Laughing Man story, so that might be a bit complex for Western audiences. But I'm sure they'll dumb it down. Not saying that Western audiences are stupid. It's just that it's a very complex storyline, and I've seen people crash and burn trying to watch that TV show, and so it deals with a lot of the metaphysical and physical world of espionage and corporate espionage. It's I won't go into it, but I'm sure they'll make an entertaining script out of what that storyline is. If this does go into a franchise, I know how it's going to end.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add, man.
Okay.
I think you said it.
Right. Okay. So Well, that film comes out. When does Ghost in the Shell? It comes out in 2000. Comes out next year, 2017.
Who's directed it? Rupert Sanders, right?
That's the way. That's the way it looks like so far. I'm not. That doesn't fill me with. It doesn't fill me with any hope for the film, but it will look good. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on Snow White and the Huntsman. I'm not gonna lie. I actually did not like that movie.
Yeah,
I found it boring. Most of the time.
Again, I'm not going to blame his direction.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame the writer for Snow White. As for the other films, I've not seen his.
Well,
I've not seen
Snow
his
White and the
movies.
Huntsman was like his first feature. He's done a lot of short films, so
Well, again,
Yeah.
Snow White and the Huntsman looked good. It
Yeah.
looked visually
at the
good.
same time, it was his first. For a guy just breaking out, that's all right. I'm kind of backtrack on that. I wasn't a fan of that movie, but then if I was a short filmmaker, which I do short films, and let's just say if a studio approached me, it's like, here's Snow White, here's Charlize Theron, here's Chris Hemsworth, go make. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. I mean, like, we'll see. I mean, like, he seems like he likes science fiction and stuff, judging by the short films that he's done. But I mean, that first film did leave me with a lot of confidence. That his first feature. But like you said, it was more the scripting and how they went about it. But we'll have to see, because this is. I think I would have been more confident had he done a couple more films, so we could see what he's actually about, if that makes sense. So I could just go, okay, what about this film, or you know what I mean? But based on that one feature, I don't know, because I really didn't like Snow White and the Huntsman.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm surprised Kirsten Stewart's not in this.
What do you mean?
He had the affair with Kirsten Stewart.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
In any case, the Ghost in the Shell comes out in 2017 with Scarlett Johansson as the Major. On to the next story, Birth of a Nation. And so this has been it's... What can I say about this film? Okay, so this film's had an interesting track record. Netflix tried to buy it, Amazon tried to buy it, everyone's tried to buy this film, and I believe, I think either Fox or Warner Brothers got the right, got the distribution rights to this. I'll find out in a second, but I believe it's Fox. It's 20th Century Fox that have that got the distribution rights to this, and so. What this film is about, it's a true story that's about a literate slave preacher who's it's set in the slavery days. So it's about this preacher whose slave owners want to ship him around so he can calm down the unruly slaves that in the plantations, and so. While he's going from plantation to plantation, he sees all the atrocities that are happening with the slaves, and there's some interesting imagery in the trailer. With there's a girl that runs out with, she's skipping, and she runs out with this black girl with an attached to a rope like she's a dog,
like a noose, yeah.
Yeah, like she's a dog or something, and it's in the same kind of vein as 12 Years a Slave, where this is not a feel-good film, but I believe these films are important because it really shocks me how a lot of people don't understand what, especially a lot of Europeans don't understand what black people went through, even as short as 45 to 50 years ago. We weren't allowed to sit on the same. I'm black, so just to let you know that. But yeah, back when my mum was growing up in this country, you weren't allowed to go into certain places. You weren't allowed to be on certain parts of the bus. It wasn't a great time, man, and that's. I mean, things aren't great now, but they're infinitely better than they were 100, 200 years ago, and so this film, I feel, is very important for for education purposes as to how the way Americans created, Europeans and Americans created these atrocities in Africa, shipping people for slavery purposes, and just buying and selling humans is disgusting, and obviously you can tell that I feel a little bit about this, but again, it needs to be shown, and I think the more people that see films like this, the more there'll be an understanding on how we can't go back to the way things were, as Donald Trump is trying to do, allegedly, and so that's my 2 cents on it. What about you? Did you have a look at the trailer?
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, like, it's really funny. I remember when Selma came out, a work colleague of mine was literally like, and she was black herself, she was like, do we really have to go backwards? And they're still going on about this stuff. It's like, yo, this stuff only happened, like, you know what I mean, like 40, 50 years ago. You know what I mean? That's not...
Yeah, that's
not long.
Yeah, that's
you
in
know
our
what I mean?
timeline.
Like, that's in our timeline. Like, I wasn't alive then, but my parents were. You know what I mean? It's like amazing. Like, you know, I you know, stuff like that. You know, we do need to be reminded of stuff like that from time, because I think a lot of young people take for granted what they have now. Do you know what I mean? They don't know how lucky they are. I just think this kind of film, although it wouldn't be something that I'd own or buy or whatever, I'll still watch it because I just feel that, you know what I mean, it's being made, you know, strictly, you know, as a reminder to the past, just to go, hey, look, this shit happened. Yeah. It's real.
Just like World War II films are constantly remade.
Yeah.
Because you need to shine a spotlight into what happened.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's the same with this. It's not
it's historical. It happened. Same with suffragettes that came out last year. You know, about women's rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's, you know, totally. I mean, like, agreed. I mean, like, it's been directed by Nate Parker, who's an actor that's been in loads and loads and loads of stuff. It's his first feature as a director, so that's going to be very interesting to see, because he's playing the title role in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's going to be real interesting to see him step up into the director's chair. How, you know, I think it's going to be very good from that aspect. I think everyone's going to be on their game. Mainly because you've got an actor directing, because actors tend to know what other actors go through when it comes to the process of acting and stuff. I mean, like, some of the best directors are actors or have acted before. Look at Jon Favreau with Jungle Book recently, with the kid, you know, in the jungle. That kid was interacting with anyone and did, you know, some of the best green screen work that then compared to adults, grown men, adults among green screen, and this kid was acting under against nothing. But back on point on this film, you know, like, look at Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's a great director, you know what I mean, and he gets the best from his people. So there's no doubt that Nate Parker's probably going to get some real good performances that this movie needs. You've got Arnie Hammer in there, and you've got Jackie Earl Haley in there. So it's good cast generally all round there. I mean, like, you know, it should be really cool to see what these guys perform and bring out in this. I mean, like, Armie Hammer's really one of those guys that should be bigger than he actually is. I mean, he's fantastic.
I reckon he'll get there in the natural process.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, you know, I think he was banking on Lone Ranger to be his, like, superhero film. Be quite honest, all right, I like the Lone Ranger. I know a lot of people didn't, but you know what? That's a guilty pleasure of mine. I thought it was actually a pretty good movie. Jackie Haley. I mean, like, Jackie Earl Haley. I mean, this guy, Rorschach from Watchmen, man, he stole the show in that film. This guy should be in a lot more stuff, man.
But he seems to be one of those
character actors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's more like Gary Oldman or what's his name? Bane. Who was Bane?
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, it's, you know, I think it's going to be a fantastic film. To be fair, I'm surprised they didn't release it around Oscar season though, because I see that it's coming in November, right?
October
October?
7th. Yeah,
Okay.
October 7th it comes out. But yeah, this is Netflix were trying to fight for it.
Oh, okay.
And because I think whoever owns the rights to this film wanted it to be released theatrically, because once it's on Netflix, it just goes into the ether. And yeah, I
think that's probably Nate Parker, because he's like.
Yeah, well, this is why Fox got it, and so it'll be seen in cinemas. It'll have a wider stretch. It will have a bigger voice than it would ever do on Netflix.
Because once you release it on Netflix, it gets lost.
Yeah, that's what I said. It goes into the ether, and you either know about it or you don't. And it's like what happened to that Idris Elba film.
Beast of the Nation.
Yeah. It was there, then it wasn't.
And that's just it. That's why he never got a nomination, because it went into...
It went into the ether.
It went into the ether. I mean, it got lost. And the thing is, one of the stipulations when it comes to Academy Award things, it has to be something that's been released theatrically. So everyone going, oh, Idris Elba. Don't get me wrong, Idris Elba is a fantastic actor. He's fantastic. Okay, and I'm going to mention Jungle Book again, okay, real quick. I saw it the other day. It's still fresh in my mind. I've seen it twice in the same day. That film is fucking amazing. But you know one of the reasons why it's amazing? Fucking Shere Khan, okay? I don't know what Idris was taking that day, but he pulled a James Earl Jones, man, with that character, okay? He brought the chills. His voice commanded a lot of presence. To a freaking tiger. Okay, so that just goes leaps and bounds that one day Idris is going to get his Oscar. Okay, unfortunately, Beast of No Nations wasn't released theatrically, so it didn't qualify.
It actually was.
Was it?
It had a very limited release.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, again, as I said, this is the interesting thing with Netflix films, because we were talking about this in one of our earlier podcasts about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2. It came, then it went.
Yeah, that's right.
it once it's released, it goes into the ether.
Well, funnily enough, when you're with Netflix films, the minute you switch it on, it kind of promotes all the, you know, because that's all at the moment. That's all it's promoting, Crouching Tiger.
Okay.
I personally haven't got around to watching it yet.
Well, no one talks about it. No one has talked about it.
You know what? I'm going to watch Crouching Tiger 2 tonight. Okay, and I'll tell you what I think about it next podcast.
I've already seen the review on it, and I know what it's about.
Okay, but have you seen the movie?
I'm not planning to. I don't.
Oh, really? Was the review that bad?
I've got nothing against Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I don't see the need for it myself, and so I'll never see it.
No,
so,
but what did the review say? Was it any good?
Do you want to get into reviews? I thought.
No. Okay, all right. I'll watch it. I'll say, yay, Captain Tiger was good. That's
okay. Cool.
I can review that film because I saw it on Netflix.
Okay. Well, you'll be the one to tell me what that's like. So.
Okay.
Yeah. You let me know. Okay, so The Beast of No Nation comes out October 7th. I think that's America. I'm not sure if that's the same in the UK, but I'm guessing it'll be around the same time. So, look out for that. It should be an interesting watch, nevertheless. On to the next product or topic. It is Deadpool 2, and that's after Deadpool's phenomenal ground stomping, punching the box office up with it's just made a phenomenal amount of money for the type of film it is. They're moving forward with the sequel, and that's with everyone intact. The full creative team's intact. The director Tim Miller is coming back to direct this, and Ryan Reynolds is back as Deadpool, and so that's all we need really. And I guess the budget will be around the same or a little bit more. considering how much this film made. I think Fox will throw a bit more money on this, and so yeah, I loved Deadpool. It was a surprise for me, and I remember Satch telling me that it was, yeah, if they ever make a film of Deadpool, it's going to be the best thing ever. And guess what? It was the best thing ever. And
this is just it, Joe. You should just listen to me with all comic book stuff. I mean, I've been praising Deadpool before they even made a movie. But you know what? I remember when I saw the poster for Wolverine Origins, and I saw Ryan Reynolds there wearing that outfit, and I turned around to Joe. I was like, Deadpool's in Wolverine Origins? And that made me excited for Wolverine Origins, and I think I speak for everyone. What a shit film. What a fucking pile of turd that film was. Oh my god, I cried how bad that was, because what did they do? They arse-raped Deadpool. Like, literally. They literally fucked that character up. But the opening with Ryan Reynolds slicing and dicing all the soldiers and stuff when they go on that mission, I was like, I was invested in Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I was like, you know what? They got the right guy as the role, but then they had to fuck up that movie. Thank God Ryan Reynolds saw potential in this character and kept at it and stuck with it. And to be quite honest, all kudos to Reynolds, because without Ryan Reynolds, this movie would never have got made. Okay, he stuck to his guns. He produced it. He commanded the writers to, make it happen. You know what I mean? They leaked that short film to get you guys, the fans, to fucking send it out virally. Fox were forced to pull the trigger and greenlight that. And you know what? This is one of those rare things where they actually got a director that understood the source material. They got an actor. Well, they already had an actor that loved the character and understood the source material. You know what I mean? You rarely get that. You rarely get that. I can't wait for number 2. If you haven't seen Deadpool, where the fuck have you been? Living in a cave or cage or wherever else? I mean, go watch that freaking movie. I mean, you know what? It's an 18 rated movie.
It's 15.
It's 15. Okay, 15 here, R rated. It's made 758 million worldwide. Okay, and it deserves a sequel. I love Judge Dredd, but no one saw that. Okay, that barely made that amount.
This may change the scales on that.
On Dredd?
Yeah, because it's a comic book film.
I know, but you got to understand Dredd underperformed badly.
I know, but so did a lot of other films.
True.
That, and they were. If it wasn't, I reckon, if it wasn't for this film, they're going to be taught.
Because they're talking about doing a lot more stuff that is R-rated now.
It stirred everything up.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, you know what?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm going to say this. Avi Shankar or whoever, I know you. Look, Asian brother, listen. I know you're a producer, out there in Hollywood. I know you own the Dredd rights. Okay, chase that up, man. We want Dredd 2. But back on the subject of Deadpool 2. Seriously, yeah, can't wait for this movie. I hear they're putting in Cable in there. Bring it. I hear they're it's gonna be great.
Do you think? Do you think this will affect the X-Men universe in any way, or will they keep...
in good ways?
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I think the main thing that it has affected. Where the fuck is Gambit? That's what it's affected.
Who cares?
Well, this is the thing. I think Fox have gone to the drawing board with Gambit, because it was supposed to come out this year. I knew that wasn't the case. I guarantee you this hasn't happened yet. I guarantee you they're going to cancel Gambit.
It's more or less is. I mean, the film was costing over 150 million to make.
That's just it for for a character that hasn't been established, yet. Well, unless you count Origins, and do we really want to count Origins again? I mean, I know it worked for Deadpool, but look at how little money Deadpool cost to make.
Well, Origins isn't a thing anymore because of the timeline's been reset.
I know that, but do you see what I mean? I mean, they still stuck with Ryan. You know what I mean? They would have put that's based on the star. Channing Tatum's playing Gambit, and that's all based on the star. But the thing is, casual X-Men fan, I'm an X-Men fan, I'm a Gambit fan, okay? I can't see Channing Tatum as Gambit. I'd have to see that movie for or a trailer for that to convince me. I think the guy can act now. Now I say after Foxcatcher, and he has gotten better. But I still just don't personally. I don't see him as Gambit. I'd like to see what that first trailer says if it's still being made, just to go. Oh, okay, I can see it, or you know what I mean. I can see where they're going with this.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're even going to make this movie. Because of all the delays, and now Deadpool's come out, they've just flat out stopped talking about Gambit.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely, because they're like, well, if we could do this way, how many other things can we do this way? That's kind of how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, when they said it was $150 million budget for Gambit, I was like, what, really? Not like 60 million?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And to be quite honest, you don't even need $150 million budget for Gambit, really.
X-Men was done on the first X-Men film was done on a budget of either 60 or 70 million.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I know some people don't particularly like that film, but if it wasn't for that film, we wouldn't have the universe that we have now.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't have half the comic book movies we have now. I mean, like, that's just it. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. Personally, I'd like them to introduce Gambit in an X-Men film first, so people can get to know the character a bit more and just
Sorry, I forgot the point I was trying to make with mentioning the X-Men with X-Men because of the budget. Look at the budget constraints, and you've got all these mutants with gnarly powers.
Oh yeah.
And they managed to display all of that in that film, in budget, and so I mean, looking back at it now, yeah, it looks fairly basic, but it did its job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so, if Deadpool can do all that it did on the similar budget to X-Men, the first X-Men film, then I see no need for the budget to be so inflated for someone like Gambit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know whose pockets they were lining with the 150 million, but that's ridiculous. Yeah. So I've got little to say more about Deadpool, but I can't wait for it to come out. I don't know when it's coming out. I'm guessing it's going to be fairly soon, maybe next year or the year after. But whatever X-Men turns into, or however well this X-Men film does, I'm guessing they'll join the universes at some point, which they already are because there's X-Men in Deadpool. So we'll see. And it's got the same house from the first X-Men film.
Well, that's reused footage from X-Men.
Oh, really?
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, like, there's a lot of. I think in the next few months, there's going to be a lot of comic book stuff to talk about, and a lot of stuff changing. There's hints and whispers about maybe nothing confirmed, but hints and whispers about Fox playing more with Marvel.
Yeah,
especially after this weekend with CinemaCon and stuff. But I find it kind of intriguing. The reason why I'm saying this, Simon Kinberg, one of the producers of the X-Men franchise, and one of the writers. Before Fan Four Stick came out, he was like, "No, we're separate. We're going to play in our own Marvel universe here at Fox. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other." Just the other day, been quoted saying, "Yeah, I could see the X-Men mingling with the Avengers." That was a quote. That doesn't mean it's happening. Before everyone gets excited, that's
part of the rumor mill. So
that before everyone goes, "Whoa, this is," hold your breath, okay? Because there's other things. That's just one guy's opinion. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's double back there in opinion. Maybe because Fan Four Stick didn't work out for them at Fox. But
yeah, Fantastic Four. He keeps mentioning Fan Four Stick.
But it's going to be interesting times.
Can you just call the film Fantastic Four?
No, it's Fan Four Stick. It's Fan Four Stick. You're not going to have me budge on that.
But it's stupid. It's Fantastic Four, man.
Yeah, it is stupid. You should really watch the film.
Anyway, going to the next topic. Doctor Strange. The trailer dropped last week. I think it was Tuesday, was it? Last Tuesday?
I think so, yeah.
And it's interesting to say the least. It's very Inception-y, kind of Matrix-y. I can't say I was particularly impressed with it, but it does look interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It's put Doctor Strange on the map for me. But as a trailer, it's fine. It's fine. I liked it. Yeah, fair enough. It's not something I would watch over and over again, but it looks really cool. It was very cool, in fact. But what's your thoughts on it, Sach?
Yeah, it looked really good. Like had a lot of kind of Inception-y kind of images going on there. To be quite honest, I'll be honest with you. Like, I've always been aware of Doctor Strange. Like, he'd pop up in the X-Men or he'd pop up in Spider-Man every now and again. But I never really read Doctor Strange. I saw the animated movie, though, showing his origins and stuff. I saw how they got the whole thing with his hands and stuff in there, how they get damaged, and then he's meeting the, his mentor, who looks like it's... what's her name? Tilda Swinton?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton, that's how you say her name. Okay, she's all bald and stuff. She's not Japanese, but like, hey, they've changed it to a female. Chinese. They changed it. They changed the race and they changed the gender. But we'll see. She's playing the ancient one. I think the guy's called. The ancient one. It'll be interesting. I think. I quite want to see it. See what it's about. I think this would probably be my second kind of foray into Doctor Strange's universe, because I watched the animated movie and it was cool. I didn't get overly excited about it, but we'll see how it works in the big MCU kind of thing, and yeah.
Well, in terms of it's taking the Marvel universe into the mystic and magical realm of things, and so. In terms of, we got a bit of that in Ant-Man, where it was going into the microverse or something.
Yeah.
And I guess you could kind of link those two worlds together to a degree. I'm not sure if you could, but the way it looks like it's going to me, it's very mystical, very Merlin powery kind of.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a game called Hero Quest that I used to play.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, like, the director they got is a director that did Sinister, I do believe. The guy they got does mainly horror movies and stuff, and it'll be interesting to see how much of that horror element they put into the movie as well, because I'm assuming there is a horror element. It'll be interesting. I think it had some really cool visuals.
I don't think there'll be a horror element in that at all. It doesn't suggest that at all.
Yeah.
It suggests mind bending and that's what it suggests to me. It just,
I mean, like, I've got a couple of friends that are like really into it. Like my friend Jamal at work was like, "Oh my god, it looks amazing." He's a huge Marvel fan. He really loves his Doctor Strange as well. So it's really hit the right beats amongst the fans. Normally I'd be more chatty and more in depth, but like I said earlier, I've not really read that much Doctor Strange, guys. I'm really sorry. I was more a Spider-Man guy, an X-Men guy, bit of Batman and Superman and DCU, Hulk. But I mean, like, I've not really, I never really grew up on Doctor Strange. I never really bought his comic, ever.
Well, but before... Okay, well, those are our thoughts on the trailer. Yeah. I know it's quite not particularly in depth, but there's not really much to say about it at this point.
Yeah, at this point amongst us, I mean, it's good seeing Cumberbatch in like a lead role.
Yeah. It's good to see Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it as well, and he looks pretty cool. The only thing that seems to be off about it is Tilda Swinton looks really weird with that bald cap on. I don't know. That really threw me off a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, I find her weird. Anyway.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, I find her real creepy. She creeps me out. Ever since Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, every time I see her, I'm just like, "Whoa, it's that creepy witch girl."
Have you ever seen? We need to talk about.
The one with
the little kid.
With the little kids.
Okay, so it's an independent film. It was we need to talk about Dave, or we need to talk about, I can't remember the name of the film, but it's her coping as a parent, bringing up this
Jonah Hill. No, I'm thinking of something else. I thought you were talking about that Jonah
we need
Hill
to talk about Kevin.
Kevin.
This if anyone's just about to be a parent, do not watch this film because it will put your parenthood. It's basically this unruly kid that, as you just see him as he grows, and his psychopathic tendencies towards his family, and he just has no empathy. And you just see Tilda Swinton go through this motion of going through her own kind of insanity. It's if you've not seen this film, you need to watch it. We need to talk about Kevin. It's a interesting film, very interesting film, especially if you're about to become a parent. Actually, don't watch it if you're about to become a parent. It's not a film to watch. It's not for it's a very deep film, very psychological film.
I was thinking it's John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly, speaking to the mic.
It's John C. Reilly, isn't it? That's in the film.
What film?
We need to talk about Kevin. I was thinking it's got the comedian, that comedic actor, but it's John C. Reilly. They're doing a serious turn. I don't know why I got him and Jonah Hill mixed up, but oh well.
Probably because they were in a film together, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, going on to our next topic. What is our next topic? Our next topic is the Spider-Man reboot and the villains that will be in it. So it looks like Michael Keaton may be the villain of the next Spider-Man reboot film that is being written by, it's being produced by Marvel and distributed by Sony. And so it's Sony's film, but it's not.
Marvel have the cards here.
And it's called Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm not too sure about the I'm guessing people will know what that means more than I do, but the logo looked a bit naff as far as I was concerned, and I'm not sold on the title, to be honest.
From the title, I'm going to say this: 15-year-old Peter Parker needs to take a date to the homecoming dance. He's going to try and ask out Liz Allen. And he's fighting a villain. That's what I think. They're going the whole high school Peter Parker route, which is cool. They're going through the whole shy guy asking a girl out thing as usual, as Peter Parker does. I don't think the love interest is going to be Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy kind of thing. I think they're taking it back to the beginning, and I think they'll probably introduce the love interest as Liz Allen. I'm calling it here first. I don't know jack shit. I'm just speculating as a Spider-Man fan here. Villain. Have they confirmed the villain yet?
No, he's in talks.
He's in talks, but have they confirmed what villain they're using?
No.
Okay, because the rumor is the Vulture. That's the rumor. Guys, it's not confirmed. In which case, if it's Michael Keaton, I'm going to say that if it's Michael Keaton as the Vulture, okay, cool. Birdman's the Vulture now. I can't see it, but I think Keaton would be great because He'll probably do it in a way where I'd actually like the Vulture, because he's my least favourite Spider-Man villain. But, as long as Marvel are doing it, I'm fine with that, because I'm sure it'll do the character justice. If it's not the Vulture, who could it be? I mean, who I think Michael Keaton would make a good? I think he'd make a good Norman Osborn. And when I say that, before everyone goes, the Goblin, blah, 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 okay, as a Spider-Man fan, you need Norman if they're doing it from day one, whatever, you have to have Norman Osborn in there cast as someone in the background, because he is the big bad, especially in the early years. He's his mentor, you know what I mean? He sees him as a father figure. If you've seen the Raimi movies, you know this, but you don't have to show the Goblin. Never show the Goblin, okay? Never show the Goblin. Maybe have hints, but as a supporting character, that's who I'd get Michael Keaton as. I would get him as this version of Norman Osborn. And just as Norman Osborn. The villain should be someone completely different and not the Goblin.
The newest Norman Osborn since last week.
But no, Osborn's a big part in the early days of Spider-Man. Just saying. Okay? He just is.
I'm sick of seeing that guy, man.
Yeah, but he's like
He's like the guy that won't die. he just keeps coming back.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's just like as I said
Yeah.
earlier, the last Spider-Man since last week. Who's going to be Spider-Man next week when they reboot it again?
Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I mean, like, you know, they've got Batman in the MCU now. Well, maybe. I don't know.
They've got who in the MCU?
Batman, technically, if he's there.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We're talking about Michael Keaton.
Oh, okay.
Jordan,
Okay. So no.
Spider-Man.
But he's not Batman. Don't do that.
He is Batman.
No, he's not Batman.
He's my Batman.
Okay. He used to be Batman. He is not. He is no longer Batman.
He's Batman.
And he's not. Batman is not in the MCU. So yeah, sorry about that, folks.
You guys know why.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Anyway, yeah. So in terms of. I really don't know how I feel about that, but apparently Spider-Man's supposed to be really good in this Captain America film. So
That's right.
but as if Michael Keaton's playing him, as far as I'm concerned, what if he plays it like Beetlejuice? I wouldn't see that coming. I would not see that coming.
It depends which. Maybe he's Mysterio. There we go. He could be Mysterio and play it like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I
That
guess
would
so.
work.
Yeah,
There you
that would
go.
work for me. That
I actually would want to see a Mysterio as, you know what? I'd like to see Mysterio as like a side villain, like a guy that gets beat up at the start and gets away, and then, you know, like Blade, where the guy runs off, Blade 2, where the guy runs off and he goes, "I'll get you next time," and then at the end of the movie,
yeah.
I'd like that to happen with Mysterio. You know what I mean? Like, or Shocker. You know what I mean? Because they're lame villains, but they're iconic lame villains.
So you mean
know?
like how Christopher Nolan did Scarecrow?
Yeah.
Right.
Or like how Christopher Nolan did Scarecrow. I don't know. Michael Keaton's in Spider-Man, or maybe in Spider-Man. He's in talks.
Yeah, he's in talks.
We'll see. We'll see. You know, at the moment, we could discuss anything right now. He's this. He's that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do I feel about it? Like I said before, Batman's in Spider-Man. That's how I feel. It's just weird. It's going to be weird for me being an old school Michael Keaton fan, and I loved Batman. All right, but it is what it is. It's Batman's coming to the MCU. That's what it is to me. Okay, that's my initial thought. I'm sure I'm not the only person. Hey, Kerry Cupid, if you ever listen to this podcast, you're getting your Spider-Man versus Batman movie. Just saying. Friend of mine, she thought that was the name of a Batman-Superman film. Rookie mistake. That's how I feel about Michael Keaton. Like, cool. I'm for it. It will take someone like me that's old enough that has seen his Batman films to adjust. But Michael Keaton in
Why?
anything...
Those films were like 20 years ago.
Because it's Batman, it's Spider-Man.
No, it's not. It's Michael Keaton in a Spider-Man film.
Batman and Spider-Man.
Jesus
Come on, man.
Christ.
And I'm sure a lot of other people think so too.
I'm pretty sure they don't, but
Okay,
fair
enough.
Anyways, yeah. So Spider-Man. I don't. When did the Spider-Man film come out?
2018.
Okay, so we've got a couple of years until we see him on screen. But yeah, that's one to look out for. I'm sure there'll be many more people announced for Spider-Man as time goes by. So yeah, we'll see how that goes out. I just hope it's not any of the Osborns, because I'm sick of seeing them.
I'll be the Osborn.
Well, we've got Marissa Tomei, who's supposed to be Aunt May. She was my aunt.
She keeps getting younger and younger now.
Yeah, I know. That's
I remember
crazy.
her as a frail old person. Now, maybe she's got some kind of disease and Peter's got to look after her. Maybe she's disabled. There's a big part in Spider-Man's life. He has to look after Aunt May. If she's getting younger and younger, then I'd say put a disability in, man.
Yeah, she clearly hasn't. So
Okay. Well, you know, I'm just saying. just saying.
You don't cast Marissa Tomei and make her have a disability in all the films. No, you just don't do that. Okay, that's the end of the news topics. Onto the films opening this week in the UK. We've got Bastille Day. Did you watch the trailer to this?
It looks great.
Stars Idris Elba and that guy who died in
Rob Stark.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones.
Richard Madden.
Well, when I say the guy who died, a lot of people died in Game of Thrones. But yeah, this film
for a red wedding.
This film has come out of nowhere, as far as I'm concerned. It looks good.
It does look good.
But again, it's unknown entity. But it's stars Idris Elba. He's a CIA operative or agent, and is hunting down terrorists. What's the actor's name that you just mentioned?
Richard Madden.
Richard Madden is a pickpocket, and he gets mixed up. He picks up the wrong bag, and it was a bomb, and they think he's part of the terror plot, and so. That's the gist that the trailer gives you, really, and he helps the CIA try to uncover what was these terror plots that are going on in France, I believe, and that's it looks like a high octane action film, which it looks really good. That's the only thing I can say about it. And Idris Elba looks good in the role. And this is one I might check into. It's on my watch list. So, what about yourself?
Yeah, it looks really good. It would be interesting to see how James Watkins handles action direction. This is his first foray into that. It's his third feature film. He worked on The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe and Eden Lake. He's mainly worked on horror. I mean, like, he started off writing horror films like My Little Eye, Gone, and The Descent Part 2. So this is like a complete departure for him. The trailer looks great in terms of action. In terms of action movies, you got Idris Elba, who's like just killing it right now in films and TV and everything. Richard Madden. To be quite honest, I actually didn't recognise him at first until I looked him up and saw that. Oh damn, that is Rob Stark from Game of Thrones. I mean, like, I know he's been in films like Cinderella. For all you gamers out there, I know he voiced Trevor Belmont in a Castlevania game. But I mean, like, it looks like it's going to be a real fun kind of movie. Looks like a serious action movie. I can't wait for this. It'll be cool to see what they do.
Yeah. That comes out on the 22nd of when's it come out? 22nd of April. So that's this week coming, and so that'll be one to look out for. And the next film that I personally wanted to talk about, that's coming out next week as well, is Miles Ahead. And this is a semi-biographical story about the jazz musician Miles Davis. And the funny twist about this is it's more of a heist movie than it is it goes over some of his life, but it's square setly on a part of his life where he's out of the game, and people are trying to get him back into the limelight, so to speak, and he owes the studio one more record, and they steal his music, and it was a hunt to get his music back. This film is directed by John Cheadle, who plays Miles Davis as well, and it's very different. It feels very different from the type of biographical films that you get. So just the fact that it's got that heist element to it is something that I'm very interested in. I like Miles Davis music as well. I've got 3 of his albums on my shelf. I still buy CDs, it's something that I'm personally looking forward to. I can't see it doing particularly well because maybe because it has John Cheadle in it, someone who looks fairly familiar from films, and so I'm sure people who know about Miles Davis will go and see it, and who know John Cheadle will go and see it, and so That's something I'm looking forward to. What about you?
Yeah, I mean the trailer looked good. It's got Ewan McGregor in there as well. Yeah, I didn't know that Cheadle directed the movie, but that's going to be like real interesting to see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, if you don't know about anything about Miles Davis, it'll be a interesting watch for someone. He shaped that jazz era between the 1950s to the 1970s. It's very owned by him in terms of funk and jazz, and so, or more or less jazz really, and blues, and so. But again, because this film squares on a specific era when he's not in the limelight anymore, and he comes out of it just to get his record back from the record company. It looks like it's going to make for a very interesting heist movie, which Don Cheadle's been part of 3 already, which is the Ocean's 11 saga. So yeah, that's.
It'll be real interesting to see how it plays out as well. I mean, like this is Cheadle's first feature as a director as well. Should be real interesting.
It's already been reviewed really well, but because it's sandwiched, and they know how well it's going to do, and it's for people that know who Miles Davis is or want to know who he is, and because it's Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle's quite a big name. He's I would consider him. He's an A-lister. And so because of that element, it will draw people in that will want to know about it, and so it will make some money, but it's not gonna. It's not one of those films that is set to make billions of dollars. It's set to make thousands. So, that's another film I'm looking forward to. That also comes out on April the 22nd in the UK. It's already been out in the States, and again, very well reviewed, and something that I'm personally looking forward to. And I think that is about it. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and it's the Star Wars thing. So I keep seeing this more and more online, that people think this next Star Wars film is the next episode. And this is where I know we talked about this last week, but there's a lot of people that think this is the next episode and not a prequel to 4, 5, and 6. And this is where I said having the episode names was important in terms of knowing what you're getting, as opposed to if you're having a spin-off thing, you can call it whatever you want. If it doesn't have an episode in front of it, you know it's not an episode. And so I think they've tripped up on the marketing there a little bit personally, and that's what I wanted to.
Do you think they should have just kept it a Star Wars anthology? What they were originally going to do?
I think they should have kept
Episode 7
Force Awakens as
Episode 7.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
That's what they should have named it, and because it has the prefix of episode at the front of it, people will know that's the main timeline.
Yeah.
If you call something Rogue One, the Star Wars story, or whatever you call it, it doesn't have the episode in front of it, you automatically know it's not part of anything.
It's a bit of a weird one. I mean, like, it's a bit of a weird one. We'd have to just see how it plays out in the grand scheme of things. I mean, like, I guess people will know eventually, but I don't see it affecting the box office.
I know it won't affect the box office. It will
just confuse people, the general masses that want to see, the general masses that have only just gotten into the universe through Rey and Finn, that kind of thing. But then at the same time, those guys that have just got on the bandwagon, a lot of them are going back to the old films and like watching them to get up to speed with the Skywalker stories. So we'll have to see how it plays out for them, because they might watch it and go, oh right, that's the Death Star. Because I guarantee you, those that watch Episode 7 have gone back. Like, I had a friend called Artie, and Artie's a girl who I worked with at the cinema, and she'd never seen a Star Wars film in her life. She'd never. And I worked with this girl for like 4 or 5 years, and that was the least thing I'd ever want to see. And she came in, and she she came in with a few friends, and it was her sister, and one of the guy, her sister's boyfriend, and a whole load of guys, and they all come to see Star Wars. And a couple of guys had never seen Star Wars, but the one guy that wanted to see it, he was like, yeah, look, trust me, this is going to be the one. And the guys were like, all right, cool. But the guys were in it because they were part of the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was like, for all you newbies to Star Wars. But like, do you know what I mean? They all went and watched it. They came out, they were like, oh my God, that was an amazing film, blah, blah, blah. I know us old school Star Wars fans are like, yeah, it was good. You know what I mean? Or like, yeah, we enjoyed it. But like, they were blown away, and they were like, fuck, we need to see the other 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did. Like, their Facebook statuses were like, oh my God, the Phantom Menace. And yeah, they actually said that because that's the first foray into the universe for them. You know what I mean? Rather than the way I did. I know you did it a bit differently, but like, you know what I mean? They were like, wow, okay. And they actually enjoyed the prequels because, you know, it was like, this was like a new universe to them. They were watching it. They were watching these films on a totally different level, because some people were like, oh my God, Liam Neeson is in Star Wars, and Liam Neeson, you know, hunts people down and takes names and faces, you know what I mean? Like they loved it, and they were seeing it from a brand new perspective, and, you know, I'm pretty sure people that have gone seen 7 have gone back to watch the others, you know what I mean? So by the time Rogue One comes out, they are going to be like, whoa, but that's like the Death Star. You know what I mean? Like the original Death Star. So I think a lot of people that have gone seen 7 will be on the same page. But at the same time, this could work to their advantage to different people, because it's not called well, they've put a Star Wars story, but they're concentrating on the Rogue One aspect of the title there, that logo. So maybe people are like, whoa, what's Rogue One? You know what I mean? You got stormtroopers in there, but you're not seeing any lightsabers and stuff. You know what I mean? For casuals to differentiate itself with Star Wars. So it could work tit for tat. It could flop.
I don't think... no, there's no way this film
Oh yeah, no way. But I get your concern there, kind of thing. But, you know, at the same time, I think when Disney just labelled it The Force Awakens on the poster, I think that instantly made it a gateway film, because had they have put 7 on the title, a lot of people would be like, oh, because there were a lot of people coming into the cinema going, oh, okay, so it's a remake of Star Wars, which it kind of was, but like, you know what I mean? Like, they actually thought it was an actual reboot. This was Han, Luke, and Leia getting told differently and stuff. They thought it was a reboot. Okay, and when they watched it, then they were like, holy shit, it's part of, like, okay, fair enough. Now I'm invested. So it kind of worked for, you know, what's it? 2 billion?
Yeah.
2 billion, biggest grossing Star Wars film ever made. That's what the marketing did there. You know what I mean? Long-term rise, when we get to episode 8, that's when we can proper debate this discussion on that, because we'll see the, you know,
because we don't know what the film's called yet.
Yeah,
so.
well, we'll see what the seeds of. Well, you get the metaphor I was trying to say. I know, trying hard to come up with one, but well, you know, I can't predict the future. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong.
But I agree with you. I do agree with you on this point. Like, at least having the episodes, and then I preferred the anthology title. It feels more like a book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't part of the main thing, but this clearly is a spin-off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. In any case, we'll see where that goes. But that's it really. Did you want to talk about Jumanji?
Yeah, just then there's a Jumanji reboot with The Rock and Kevin Hart coming in. I haven't seen Central Intelligence, but
it's not out yet.
Yeah, it's not out yet. But you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm assuming they would only pair those two up again if they have good chemistry in this film. I know it's not out yet, but you know what? I was interested in Central Intelligence for the pair up. Now, I've seen a lot. I know you're not a big Kevin Hart fan on screen, but I like his stand-up. I generally find him funny. I liked the small role he played in Grudge Match. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but I kind of like that movie. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the CG was really bad on young size Stallone there at the start, but I didn't mind that movie, and I thought Kevin Hart, suited the character that he was playing in that movie, and he did the shtick well. The ride-along films I thought were dog shit. I thought they were Bad Boys Light. In fact, I feel really bad calling it Bad Boys Light because
don't
it's
say it then,
nothing like Bad Boys. Bad Boys is
Boys.
excellent, and Ride-along's just shit. I personally don't think Kevin Hart has found that movie where that movie that showcases how good his brand of humour is. I mean, like, he's not a director or a writer. Like, what you got to understand, I'll give you an example. Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, he got hired, but they didn't have a script. So Eddie Murphy more or less
ad-libbed
and did it, you know what I mean? And made that shit his own. And I'd say that went a long way into cementing him as a megastar. Chris Rock, he writes and directs his own stuff, and he was doing that well before Lethal Weapon 4, kind of thing. So, I don't know, man. I just think Kevin Hart just needs to find that, that right script, that right role to cement him there. I don't think Ride Along's done him justice. I think he's a fantastic comedian. I find him funny. He just needs to find that right thing. Maybe Central Intelligence could be the one. If it is, Jumanji, here we go. But my concern with Jumanji, I get they're rebooting it, or whatever. Why can't we just call this Jumanji 2? Like, these two guys, their kids open the thing, the animals come out and let loose and stuff, and I don't get why it's a reboot, because like that first one, like, I didn't grow up on Jumanji, but I recognise it for what it is, because I've got friends that are like, wow, that's my childhood right there, because Robin Williams is that iconic. It's one of his great movies, you know what I mean? Like, Kirsten Dunst is up in there. You know what I mean? Like, young Kirsten Dunst, not Spider-Man Kirsten Dunst, but, like, you know what I mean? And that movie also was like a benchmark of, like, how movies are made today in terms of CGI. That was like those effects were groundbreaking at the time. Maybe not so much now, because, like, I saw bits of it on TV and, like, it looked a bit ropey, but that was back then. Back then, that shit had never been done before. So it's revolutionised the way films are done these days. Otherwise, you wouldn't get half these digital creatures and shit that we have now. In terms of Jumanji, this reboot, we'll have to see, man. I mean, like, that combination, the fact that it's both The Rock and Kevin Hart together again, makes me kind of think, maybe Central Intelligence might be actually pretty funny. Maybe he's found his partner in crime. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't know. I haven't seen Central Intelligence, and I couldn't tell you jack and shit about Jumanji, but we'll have to see. I'm just kind of like, part of me's like, do we really need a reboot? But at the same time, I'm like, well, those 2 guys must have impressed something in that first film to both get cast in Jumanji.
Well, so, I've not seen Jumanji, so I can't really say much about it. You've said everything, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've said everything about it. So, yeah. Well, on that note, on that bombshell, that's the end of the show. Thanks for listening, folks. Sach, where can we find you if you're online?
If I'm online, I'm always on traditional Facebook. You can hit me up on Twitter on Sacha Allari, just my name. That's SACHA ALLARI, Sacha Allari, and that's where you'll find me. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Zedos Gang at Zedos Gang Podcast, or at Zedos Gang. And so, just feel free to do that. And that's it, folks. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Sach. And we'll see you again next week, guys. This has been the Zedos Gang Podcast, and we're out.